Never seen a lame man walk. Never heard a dumb man talk. Never seen a blind man see. I promise you will change his name. Never seen a canceled debt. Never seen all the poor get fed. Never seen a prisoner set free. I promise you will change his name.
Hey everybody, it is about that time.
Break forth the rhythm and the rhyme.
What? I'm gonna get mine, so get yours. I want to see sweat coming out your pores.
Dude, I may have to end this podcast relationship that I know that you know that many words to that song.
Marky Mark, baby, come on.
Mark Wahlberg.
The rhymes will soothe you, and I'm here to move you. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Hope we're giving you all good vibrations.
Welcome to the Big C, Bigger T podcast, the only place where you're going to watch or listen, where you're going to hear Marky Mark rap by a fat guy.
Yes.
Fan. You can't get that everywhere, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone's doing that for you on the interwebs.
Nope, just us. Hey, Travis, what's today?
Today?
Yeah, it's today.
What is today?
Blue Shirt Day.
Blue Shirt Day. That's right.
Yeah, for those of you that's listening on Apple Podcast, any other podcast other than YouTube, we're on every platform there is.
That's right.
And this is a great time to remind you: like, share, subscribe.
That's right.
You like what you're hearing? Share it. You don't?
My shirt has that different colored pocket.
And you got the stripe.
I got the stripe and the different colored pocket. So the trendy, fashiony stripe, plus, and all the pocket is just a piece of cloth they just sewed on the front.
I'm wearing
handy as a shirt pocket.
I bought this shirt in Las Vegas.
Oh, look at you wearing a Vegas shirt.
I bought this.
Well, Clint, how are you, buddy? I didn't even greet you. How are you?
Great. I'm great. If I was any better, I'd be twins.
Well, and we can't handle that in this universe.
No.
We'd have to.
I think one of me is about all the world can handle.
We'd have to go into the metaverse for more of you. Well, Clint, it's been a crazy week. You watch any NFL games?
Man, a little bit. Man, since I don't have live TV anymore, it's like. But I can figure out I've got like the ESPN app, so I can watch all the games and stuff. I've got my ways, people. Don't you worry about it.
Don't feel sorry for him. Don't feel sorry
for me. But yeah, I've got it. I've got this figured out. I'm not gonna go without college football during football season. It's just not gonna happen.
Well, and we normally don't talk professional football.
No, I watched a little bit. You know, I was curious and I hated that it wasn't on. I couldn't watch it. But I was really interested. I kept up with the Cleveland Carolina game.
Yeah.
I was really.
I couldn't watch it either, but
yeah, I was.
Bobby Brissett led them to a victory with the rookie kicker kicking a 50-yarder.
Yeah, no, that's.
Did you see the Monday night game? Russell Wilson heading back to Seattle.
Yeah, and then they were like, "Man, what do you think?" So it's 4th and 5. You have
first of all, before you get to that.
Oh, go ahead.
You're a football player for Seattle. And the equipment manager hands you your uniform for that game. And I know they've worn before. But the neon green bottoms and tops.
It's the ugliest uniform.
I just had to think, I'm thinking, we're looking like a marker, a highlighter. Bunch of highlighters running around.
Like they got Oregon's hand-me-downs or something.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, go back to the.
Right. So it's 4th and 5. So if they kick the field goal, it'll be a 64-yard field goal.
Yeah.
which means they're around the 47-yard line, if my math is correct.
Something like that. Sure.
Yeah, 47. So you have Russell Wilson as your quarterback. Now, so you can either kick a 64-yard kick, or you can go for it and try to get 5 to 10 more yards. I mean, obviously they're in practice. They know the guy can probably make it. What's the NFL record? 62?
Now the record's 65.
Oh, 65. Okay, so
I think Jason Elam or somebody like that got it.
and were they playing in Seattle or were they playing in Denver?
They were at Seattle, but he has kicked their kicker. He kicked a 61-yarder on an away field.
Yeah.
So like he actually kicks better away than he does at Mile High, which usually kickers kick better
Right, yeah.
at Mile High because of light air. But he actually has been one that's kicked better away. And the kick, they not to ruin the ending, but they decided to kick it.
Right.
And the thing was, though, they had some time left. They had some. I think
right. It wasn't like they were rushing. Yeah, they had like a minute and a half left in the game, and they ran.
They had some timeouts left.
Yeah.
So they could have like got that play and then got a few more plays to try to get toward the end zone. Like they just all they had to get was that first down. That was it. And you got Russell Wilson, a great quarterback, right?
And that's just the thing is you spend all that money on Russell Wilson. I mean, you gave him an extension, and Seattle wasn't like, hey, do you want to take him off our hands? No, they gave up some draft picks.
Yeah.
They gave up a lot to get Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you give all that up. So you can either put the game in this guy's hands, who you've given all this up for, or you can try a 64-yard kick, which if you can tell me it's better than a coin flip, you're lying.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I would give it maybe a 10% chance. Even make it in practice. So to me, you put the ball in Russell Wilson's hand and let him do what you pay him to.
I agree.
And try to because
the kick had the distance.
Yeah,
it just went to the left.
Yeah.
And when you're kicking that far, man, it doesn't take much movement on the ball, and it can veer off. That becomes a smaller and smaller target to hit the farther you are back.
You are a kicking expert.
I am a kicking expert because I did have a record at Greenbrier High School for kicking.
That's true.
And you could tell Reed Bauer was intimidated by that when we told him.
I could tell.
I could tell, yeah. He
was
like, whoa.
He's like, I'm in the room with an icon, a specialist icon.
I'm in a Zoom room with a special teams guru. Yeah, no.
Like, you think you could be the next Scott Fountain? Yes or no, Travis?
Yeah, of course. I am the next Scott Fountain.
We're not gonna call it Beaver Ball. They're gonna call it Johnson Ball.
That's right. That's right. Well, Clint, I think we both have the same holy shnikes moment. Can we have a moment of silence?
Yeah, thank you.
For a little university in College Station, Texas, coached by a guy named Jimbo. Clint, Appalachian State.
App State does it again, yo.
Now, they're no pansy.
No, they're not.
Easy win. Okay. We know that, right? We know that. If Arkansas was playing Appalachian State, I would worry because I don't want them to take them too lightly.
Yeah.
Well, A&M does something called the yell practice. I'm really still not for sure. I mean, it's just, I guess it's for cheerleader practice.
Clark was practicing yelling at me before it was cool, y'all.
That's right, yeah. So apparently, Clint, they decided to film it. You don't film stuff like that.
No, you don't.
And they filmed it. And if you haven't seen it, folks, look it up. It's out there.
We're borderline on filming this podcast.
In fact, if you get a chance, look for one. It's The Office reacts to yell practice. It is special. It is very good. Whoever edited that did a great job. But Clint, they started making fun of Appalachian State. They called them a bunch of hillbillies. They said, by the way, it's not a state. Way to go, genius. You're breaking some new ground there, Copernicus. Okay, seriously?
I mean, okay, first off, I'm not gonna make fun of that because it's not beneath me to make a joke along those lines. Like when we lost to Western Kentucky, I'm like, well, they're the best team in the western part of Kentucky.
Well, they were.
They were.
But Clint, you make those jokes though after you play them, not if you win, not before. And but could it happen to a better group of people?
No,
it happened to a better coach.
It really couldn't. And it's my goodness. And they're paying Jimbo how much money?
Just right behind Saban, right?
Yeah.
Elmer Kirby's second behind Saban.
It's Arkansas plays A&M in a couple weeks, and they're. I don't want to make fun of them too much because they're on the schedule, and they are a talented bunch.
They got talent. They had the #1 recruiting class.
There's probably not a more. They may have the high star average in the West. It's definitely them and Bama, probably 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then LSU 3. I mean, but man, for whatever reason, it just hasn't clicked. And everybody's really ragging on Jimbo and his offense now.
Yeah.
Saying that his offense is out of date. It reminds me of the way we used to talk about Houston Nutt. Yeah. But he's making enough money and they're doing it to him on a national level.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
I thought Paul Feinbaum said it best at the Little Rock Touchdown Club. He says, I'm not going to make jokes about Jimbo Fisher. His record does that. He just, I don't know. And me and you talked about it the other day. And someone tweeted out, and I think it's true. Him and Gene Chizik are very similar. Great coordinators who got the right guy when they were head coach to be quarterback and rode them to a championship.
I mean, outside Jameis. Jameis Winston, heck of a college career.
Yeah.
I mean, great college career. He's still playing the NFL today. He's starting on an NFL team. Is he the #1 overall pick? Great? No, because he's not even with that team anymore. But he's making a living playing football in the NFL.
And he's still didn't he throw for 5,000 yards almost 1 year? I mean,
he's had some
for 30 interceptions, but still
5,000 interceptions, 5,000 yards, somewhere in there. One of those stats.
He makes a great seafood platter too, bro.
You had to go there.
That's all right.
We may make neck brace jokes later because we're about the low hanging fruit.
That's right.
So, but name another quarterback other than Jameis.
Yeah.
You can do Kellen Mond, but we know that because me and you, played against him so many times, or not us, but Arkansas played against him so many times. I've never been impressed with Jimbo. And Haynes King was supposed to be a highly rated guy.
Yeah.
I know Arkansas was after him.
Well, yeah, it's that was just a crazy that they took them lightly, and Appalachian State. Way to go, Appalachian State.
Good job. I'm proud of you. I've driven through Boone. Lovely town.
Good.
Lovely town.
Well, Clint, so the Hogs had the Gamecocks come in. And
yes, sir.
This was a game that, I was nervous about a little bit, and then mainly just because I have respect for Beamer. I was worried that but then as it got closer to the game, I started thinking, I do think we're just going to be more talented than them. I think we're, up and down the lines, especially. And that's what ended up happening.
No, and me and you keep talking about it. I'm nervous for every guy. I'm nervous for Missouri State.
Yeah.
But just because that's me. That's just me being me. So me and you talked about it a couple days ago. I messaged you on Marco Polo. I was like, dude, I keep waiting for this, this not to be reality. That the
Yeah.
2-10 to be reality.
Yeah.
It's like I just keep waiting for that to be reality, to just snap back.
Yeah.
And I gotta accept that this is reality. We have a pretty good football team. We have a
And
great football team.
and you know what? It keeps me positive as far as that we're not going to go back to that other reality, Clint, is that these guys, this team plays like what we're, I mean, like, you know, with Houston Nutt, when he was there, when Bielema was there and he had a good year or so, you know, I mean, which I love both of them coaches, to be honest with you. I mean, I like, you know, Bielema. I like Bielema. I mean,
Well, it didn't work out.
it didn't work out, but I liked him. What he did for Frank Ragnow when his dad died will have me be a fan of him the rest of his career. But how he handled that situation. But however, even during those times, you know, there was always that, man, we could lose to anybody.
Yeah.
You
Lost
know,
to Toledo in Little Rock.
I mean, we could, this team could take a downhill swing anytime.
Yeah.
With this team, man, and those teams sometimes played above their head, right? They played above what we really thought we had on the field. They, you know, we had some talent, but then they would step it up even higher, and a lot of that was, especially like Houston, was just a motivator. You know, his pregame speeches had you, you know, ready to run through a wall. These guys play exactly how we think they'll play.
Yeah.
And to me, that's comforting.
No, it is.
They're not necessarily playing above their head. They're playing with what they got, the ability we think they have, but they're getting all of that ability out there and putting it out there and playing with heart.
No, and Darren McFadden could do it, but he was also running back.
Mm.
And we had a player that can take a game over like KJ Jefferson ever.
No.
But Matt does not have KJ Jefferson's arm.
No. Well, and Matt, you had to wait for him to do it.
Yeah. I mean,
you know, he'd wait till the last minute to do it sometimes. But yeah, man, this game I thought was a great game. The line just showed their dominance right away. Dude. Well, first of all, let's do our players of the game. You
sure.
do those first?
We can. We go whatever order you want.
Let's do the players of the game because I want to talk about, we're going to talk about ours a lot. So
yeah, we have a lot of players of the game.
Yeah.
Just because we cheat.
And once again, on this show, we don't do the obvious players of the game.
No.
We're some of them may be obvious.
Yeah.
But we're trying to look outside the box a little bit, kind of something a little different.
Right.
So
I can go first if you want me to, Chief.
Yeah, you go first.
All right. I'm giving my player of the game to the offensive line. Okay. The entire offensive line. And I wanted to cheat even more and say the line because we won that game on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
We really did on both sides of the ball. We were better and more physical up front than that team. And I've watched a lot of football last couple. We have one of the most physical football teams in the country. That team is a physical football team, and it starts up front. The offensive line is just big, they're mean, they're nasty, and they will get after you. And our defensive line will too. And I think a lot of that, you know, that Saban recruiting Zoom video that got recorded.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, you can ask them this defensive back covering Amari Cooper every day, like they were the best guys they went against all year. They got better by going. You can tell that iron is sharpening that iron.
Yeah.
And that the line is just completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different.
No,
they were
and
stronger.
Shout out to Ricky Stromberg. He got an award.
Yeah.
For grading out really well. And I think he graded out the game before very well too. So
Well,
yeah, definitely the offensive line. I can't argue with that.
No, and you can see why a lot of people are talking about him to the NFL next year. And I know a lot of people that watched the game said they were really impressed with the Arkansas offensive line, especially number 51.
Yeah.
For a guy that started as a true freshman weighing 267 pounds.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
well, my player of the game, Clint, I'm going off the field.
oh yeah, and I know who it is. We talked about it.
You've gone off the field before for years. I'm going off the field for mine.
Yeah.
And I haven't met her yet, but I'm sure she's
A lovely
an angel.
Lovely lady.
An angel from heaven.
Yes, she is.
Who gave birth to two bouncing baby boys.
Woo.
Mama Sanders and her Sanders twins.
I don't.
Mama Sanders is the player of the game. Thank you for giving us the Sanders twins.
I don't think
offense and defense. We got a stud running back. We got a stud linebacker.
Different races.
Are the same age. Yes.
Hey, we'll go with it.
Mama Sanders.
Yeah. I'm okay with it.
Mama Sanders. Yeah. Sanders twins.
I'll allow it.
Rocket and Drew needs a nickname.
Yeah. Drew.
You know, because Bumper's got one built into his name.
Right, yeah. Well, I think that wasn't his God-given name, but they went and made it legal.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was James or something like that.
Drew Sanders. Clint. 11 total tackles, 8 solo, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss, 1 quarterback hurry. Then, let's see, what else did he do? Didn't he have a anyway? Just what a stat line.
He had a monster game. And one thing that they were talking about, you know, one thing Arkansas teams have never seemed to have. One area we always seem to be lacking is we never had an elite linebacker.
Yeah.
I mean, Grant Morgan got every ounce of ability Grant Morgan.
We've had guys that played above their head, right? We had Samuel Jabutu. We had Caleb Miller. We had guys that were dogs, man. They played hard. You know, Dre Greenlaw, who's proven to be a great pro, you know, but they were, you know, just played hard.
Right, yeah.
But Sanders and Bump, man, they're killing it.
Well, Bump was a 4-star recruit, so Bump's not, and I think, man, I wish he would have scored on that onside kick.
I know, dude.
I wish he would have
scored a couple times, and it was funny. The second onside kick, he just laid down.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired from the last one. I ain't getting up. I ain't running this one.
Man, he had 7 tackles, which was seems like a down game for Bumper Pool.
Yeah.
But like I said, a lot of that goes to the defensive line eating blocks, allowing them guys to make the plays.
Yeah.
But man, and Chris Paul too had a heck of a game.
Yeah. See, and Chris Paul would have been my other one that I, you know, what I might have said as a possible player of the game that hadn't got publicity for the game.
Really?
Rocket Sanders ran the ball, you know, back to him. Ran the ball so well. The line blocked for him, but he ran the ball well and he caught the ball well. You know, didn't he have let's see.
Yeah, you know, he has some
3 catches for 30 yards, long of 17. You know, he's such a he was a receiver. You know, he's got good hands, so he's such a weapon coming out of the backfield that KJ, and you know, KJ did a good job of using his checkdowns, and Rocket Sanders was there for him. And Rocket Sanders did a good job helping block. Yeah, I thought he did a good job with that. Dubinion ran hard. AJ Green ran hard. Looked good out there. Our receivers, I thought, Clint, look good. I think there's getting more and more confidence with them.
Yeah, you know, Matt Landers had a big drop.
Oh, that was
and he was, you know, and I know no one probably beat himself up more than Matt Landers after that because he knew it too. But man, no, they look good. They look sharp.
How about that stiff arm by Hazelwood?
Looking good. Hey, 3 incompletions for KJ. 3.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
It was one of them deals I never felt like the game was truly in doubt.
No.
Now they did rack up some yardage on us, but you look at a lot of that was in the fourth quarter when it was just desperation time.
Yeah, it was something like in the first 3 quarters, I think we gave up. I mean, like we'd given up like 140 something yards passing, and in the fourth quarter alone, we gave up 140 something yards passing. So I mean, like we gave up a lot of it in that fourth quarter when they were trying to, and they were finding, in the first, even the other times, there was times where receivers were wide open. They were finding the areas in the zone, and our pass rush didn't get there during those times. Those were plays when honestly we rushed just 3 or so, and then no one got there. So yeah. I think this is a team that's going to have to continue to rush the passer well to help out those D-backs.
Now, Travis, do you firmly believe that Sam Pittman is playing the best players?
Yes.
Then everybody needs to chill on the Hudson Clark slander.
Yes.
Hudson Clark is a good ball player. Is he the best quarterback in the SEC? No. Is he one of the 2 best cornerbacks on Arkansas? Yes, or he wouldn't be playing.
I agree with you totally, Clint. People that are dogging out saying he doesn't need to be playing, like, think that through a second. Think of your logic, people. You think Sam Pittman, not only Sam Pittman, but Barry Odom and the D-back coach, Bowman, isn't that his name? The new D-back
Bowman,
coach?
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Dominic Bowman, I think. Anyway, whoever it is. All of them are saying, Hudson's a nice guy. Let's put him in instead of these other guys that would do better. People. Logic. Use your brain. College football is about making money, and you make money by playing the best players.
Yeah. It's these guys calling into Drive Time Sports. They're built like me and you. Like, I can't cover anything. Like, come on, y'all.
Yeah.
He's played well. He's not played bad. He's missed a couple tackles, but you show me a player on that team that probably hasn't missed a tackle.
Show me. Look, if you're a D-back, you're going to get burnt, especially with the way offenses are nowadays. That's what they're going to do. They're going to flood your area. They're going to sneak someone behind you. It's going to happen. That's the way it happens in the NFL every Sunday, multiple times. Yeah. That happens. There was, which was it? I think in that Seattle game, there was a slow tight end caught a deep pass, ran in for a touchdown, got behind the D-backs. These offensive coordinators are smart, man. They can, and look, it's going to happen this week. Bobby Petrino is going to draw up a play that's going to get behind our D-backs.
Yeah.
And they're going to make our D-backs look bad again.
Yeah. And the only team that's really not running the type of offense that you're talking about is Texas A&M. Yeah. Everybody sings a dinosaur and they need to change.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. They're like, he's running a 2014 offense in 2022. Yeah. So
I'm with you. It's they gotta. I mean, people just need to wake up, and
so
Hudson's doing a good job.
Yeah. So anyway, not to move on, but I've been listening to a lot of sports radio because when Arkansas is good, sports radio is fun, especially listening to the buzz. Now I have noticed this week that everybody's an expert.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, everyone.
Everybody. Yeah.
The firing of Bobby Petrino.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I've heard different versions.
Yeah.
So, Travis, what do you think's the accurate version? What happened? Why did we fire Bobby Petrino?
Why did we fire Bobby Petrino?
Why did we fire Bobby Petrino?
Well, you see, Clint, I want to say something funny, but I'll probably. The truth is,
Yeah, just hit me with the truth.
he's a liar.
He is.
He lied. He lied and cheated on how he got his girlfriend hired. You know, for what I remember right, for the position that she got in that football department, there was like 90 applicants.
Yeah.
And she was not near the top qualified for it. And he hired her. And then, of course, he was then doing inappropriate things with her outside of his marriage. He lied, and you can't do that. It doesn't matter where you're working. It doesn't matter how many games you're winning. You can't do that. His hand, like if he would have just been caught on the motorcycle with a girlfriend, if that all that would have happened, he would have lost a lot of fans. He was already losing me, by the way, so I'm probably not the best one to ask.
No, and I never was a Petrino fan.
I was ready for him to take another job when I was sitting at the Sugar Bowl, excited we were at the Sugar Bowl, but he was embarrassing to me when he's cussing out our quarterback on the sideline and cussing out Les Miles across the field on national TV. And then I knew some players that he treated pretty bad. And so I just didn't have a lot of respect for him. He's a great football mind. Now, all that to say, I listened to his press conference this week, and Clint, he sounded very humble. He was heaping praise on Arkansas, excited to come back, said it will bring up some great memories. So, hey, there's room in my heart for forgiveness. I still want to beat him, but
No,
he was hired with great cause.
no, and the way he did Atlanta was bad.
The way he what?
The way he did Atlanta, the way he quit there was just bad. It was wrong, and then no, you're right. He didn't. People are calling in and say that Jeff Long had little man syndrome and that he was jealous because they were giving Bobby Petrino credit. Like, no, when you get credit when the football team's doing good too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and here's the deal. Jeff Long was really bad for the University of Arkansas also.
Yeah, and not just because he signed with Pepsi, but
here's what, and I can say this now. When we hired Petrino, I didn't like the way he left Atlanta. You brought this to my mind whenever,
Go ahead.
And I remember, on the message boards, on Hog Sports, on all that stuff, people were saying, because ESPN would, they just wouldn't talk good about Petrino. And it was obvious that they just didn't talk good about him. National media didn't talk good about him and talked bad about Arkansas for hiring him, right? And I was thinking, man, is that really the way it is? But on the message boards, they all said, well, that's because he used to work for the owner of Home Depot. Home Depot sponsors College Game Day. They sponsor all kinds of stuff at ESPN. And that's why ESPN hates him. It's all because he made their buddy from Home Depot man. So, Clint, I got on the phone. And I called your friend.
Call Arthur Blank? Did you call Arthur Blank?
No, I called your friend and mine, Patrick Netherton.
Okay.
Who was actually working for Tim Brando on his national show at that time. And he had just done an interview with Petrino. And, Tim Brando interviewed all kinds of
Right.
right? All kinds of coaches. And so I asked Patrick, I said, look, what's the real deal on Petrino? I said, in Arkansas, everybody thinks that everybody, you know, I told him the whole scenario. And he said, look, Travis, he treats people bad. He's not a nice guy. He said, that's the best. He said, that's the best read I have on him. He said he tends to talk down to people when he's on set with you, like the people working, the lighting and the makeup people. He said he tends to just treat people bad. Now, after he was fired, the media in Fayetteville and the media in Little Rock that dealt with him, all of a sudden you already started hearing these stories about how bad he would treat the media, how bad he would treat, you know, different people that were like working on his show, his coach's show, stuff like that. Bobby Petrino needed to go. Now, he may be a different person now, and I hope he is. Hopefully he's been humbled by everything he's gone through, and he's a brilliant football mind. He is. And his offense, like I said, he's going to have some plays this week that we're not going to be ready for.
No.
You know, but I think we'll still win the game.
No, I think we'll win the game very handily. I don't think it's going to be much of a contest. I mean, they're the 5th ranked FCS team, and we're the 10th ranked FBS team. And I think it's going to, I anticipate us winning by 4 scores. I picture seeing Malik Hornsby get some touches at quarterback, and also anticipate there being a lot of neck braces in the stands.
Huh. Yeah.
Apparently, you can't find a neck brace in Northwest Arkansas.
You know, when I've said on here that I thought people would do that. I wasn't expecting it to be as big as what it is that people decided to do that. Like, I expected there'd be a handful of people, you know, with the neck braces on, and they might put a little makeup on, you know, to make it look like him, kind of like they did at Halloween after that happened. But Clint, now and people are debating on message boards and on Facebook, should they allow neck braces into the stadium? And they're dogging people for wanting to do that. You know, I mean, I don't know. You know, I think the people dogging them for wanting to do that are the ones that would hire Petrino back in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I mean, you know, people tend to think about good times and they don't remember. And recruiting was going to suffer. Petrino, this is Petrino's MO. He goes somewhere about 4 or 5 years, wins with other players or his first couple recruiting classes, and then it just goes downhill. It happened at Louisville. It was going to happen at Arkansas.
Well, you know,
saying it would have.
He has 40-something transfers.
Yeah.
40-something, like 46, something like that. One of which is former Razorback Josh Jones from Smackover, Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
Wide receiver. He transferred up to Cincinnati and then transferred from Cincinnati. He's literally on his 7th year of college football. And he's playing for Missouri State.
Did he get recruited to Arkansas by Houston Nutt?
Probably. Hugo Besnick.
But you know, and then, of course we were talking Missouri State, but I mean, I was thinking about this a lot. So there were 3 major upsets in college football, right? This week, Marshall beat Notre Dame.
Yeah.
App beat A&M, and there was another one that I'm brain.
Georgia State beat
Nebraska.
Was that who it was? Yeah.
Yeah, Nebraska, Scott Frost got fired. Yeah. So you had those 3 games, and all of them got paid like $4.5 million combined to go play those games. But the thing is there such a thing as a safe game in college football with the transfer portal?
No.
I mean, because I was watching, because I'm flipping back and forth. I got the ESPN Plus, which is the greatest thing ever. So I can watch any game I want. And it seems like every game the quarterback starting was playing at this school last year. Arkansas's first 2 games,
Yeah.
that one quarterback was what, at Toledo? Cincinnati scored. No, he wasn't Toledo. He's somewhere else.
He did at Cincinnati, went to somewhere up there,
And then transferred back to Cincinnati.
Back to Cincinnati.
Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma. So, I mean, it's like every year is like free agency especially amongst quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And so everybody's going to have players now. I think the days of, I want to say there's going to be a lot more parity in college football going forward.
Oh yeah.
And I think the transfer portal is going to make sure of that, because you can't just stow quarterbacks away on your bench and play them 1 or 2 years anymore.
Also with you bringing in transfer portal kids, your time of gelling your team together as a team, you're going to see some of these smaller teams catch people at the beginning of the year, because a guy's not going to have, the quarterback's not going to be used to his receivers yet. Offensive lineman's not going to be used to playing with that offensive line. Defensive, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The big challenge, the big challenge is getting those people to gel with the other, the rest of the team.
No, and I agree. And I think that's where Pittman's been smart, is he's piece here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's bringing in 4, but it's not like, I think Lane Kiffin's got a brand new team.
Yeah.
But
and Clint, did you see in Pittman's press conference this week?
Oh, I loved it. I think I know where you're going. And
he said, they asked him about him being ranked 10th.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, I tweeted about it. He said someone didn't like it. They didn't like that I was
I loved it.
bragging on that. He said, look, I don't do that for you. And pointed at some of the older, he said, I don't do that for 50-year-olds out there. He said, I do that for recruits. He said, yeah, maybe we shouldn't, 10th rating may not mean as much right now, it's, early in the season and all that, but it matters to those recruits.
Yeah.
And he said, and that's why I do it. But I thought that was good. He kind of clapped back against the people that were giving him a hard time.
And I think that's just what we all love about Pittman, is that he's honest and he's sincere and he's genuine.
He gets it.
Because he was like, nah. It's like when they asked him, when he came in late, he goes, you think it's going to hurt your recruiting? Yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, he was honest about it. Like, yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit.
Yeah. Well, Clint, what's your prediction on the score for this week?
Honestly, I think it's going to be 52-21.
52-21. I'm going to say 46-17.
Yeah. I think it's going to be, I think Arkansas they're just the better football team.
Yeah.
It's so now, Travis, at the beginning of the year, I would have told you, you could take Alabama and Georgia out. You can't pick them. Which 2 teams would be the favorite to play in Atlanta? Would you have guessed it had been probably Kentucky and Arkansas?
I would have probably guessed Kentucky.
Yeah, they look good.
I mean, they had a good year last year, and they were kind of expected to have a good year this year. I would have, at my little homer heart, I probably would have said Arkansas, but probably A&M would have been up there just because everybody else was saying them.
Well, and I've saw a lot of people like 1 and 2, they got Georgia and Alabama, but they say 3, 4, and 5 is Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky.
Yeah,
you can take them 3, put them in a hat, and I think it's nice to see Tennessee got their hire right with Josh Heupel, and Arkansas got it right with Sam Pittman.
Yeah. Hey, what about the? I didn't get to see the Texas-Alabama game, of course, because I was watching Arkansas. However, did you hear about the bad calls in that?
Yeah.
Well,
there's horrible. I mean, the Alabama calls are a legit thing.
Well, did you hear what Sarkisian said after the game?
No, I did not.
Now he wasn't talking about the calls, but he was saying, "Well, I told my players we didn't lose that game. We just ran out of time." Really, sorry. That's what's called loss. I think once the time goes out and that score is different, and it's higher for the other team, you lost.
Well, but I think, and I don't want Texas to ever get good again, but they got Arch Manning coming in, so it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't, but
that was a surprising score to me. In fact, that probably surprised me more than App State beating A&M.
I think you can see, number one, Texas is buying into Sark a little bit. And maybe it's their rallying cry. It's the game that they can look at, okay. They kind of like what I think we did the first half of that Georgia game in 2020. Yeah. Where you can say, okay, this is a little bit different. And maybe they're either build on it or they won't. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, Clint, we'll get off to 2-0, baby.
2-0, I think going on to I do predict we'll be 3-0 heading into Arlington.
Yep.
A&M's got a tough game versus Miami this week.
Well, and I got another question for you, Clint.
All righty.
You ready for this?
Yes.
What you been watching?
Ooh, I'm happy you asked. Now there's a show, it's on FX called Welcome to Wrexham.
Welcome to Wrexham?
Welcome to Wrexham. Basically, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia bought a Welsh soccer team.
Yeah.
And they're doing an entire documentary on it. Like they're following them around and you're seeing them run and hiring guys. And
really?
They're interviewing people in the town. It's just.
So it's like a documentary. It's not a TV.
It's a documentary. It's not scripted.
Wow. Okay.
And Rob and Ryan Reynolds flow off each other, play off each other so well.
Yeah.
They had never met till they bought the soccer team together.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Look that up.
It's I've been watching it. I'm caught up with it. I'm through 6 episodes. But man, it is, and you know me, I hate soccer.
Yeah.
I hate soccer, but they make it fun. And you can tell like Ryan Reynolds and Rob don't know too much about soccer, but they're figuring it out.
Yeah.
And they're really, at the end of the day, it's them two guys are helping the town.
Yeah.
Because like they're well, I won't spoil it for you out there watching it, but it's really well done. It's very entertaining. Highly recommend it. How about yourself? What you watching?
I've been watching a show I've been wanting to tell you about.
Oh, okay.
I've forgotten to tell you about it, but I think it's something that you would find interesting.
Oh.
Have you seen Snake in the Grass?
No, it doesn't.
Bobby
I've seen it advertised, but I haven't watched it.
I'm watching. Of course, I've been watching the Challenge US or whatever.
Yeah,
and I think it comes on after it or something. Or anyway, I have Hulu. It comes on anyway. Bobby Bones is the host. There's 4 contestants. Okay, here's a scenario. There's 4 people. They're off somewhere like Costa Rica, somewhere like jungle area, whatever. They're there for 2 days, 1 night. Okay. So it's got a little bit of a survival show, but not really. It's not really focused on that. They have 2 different things they have to do. 2 different challenges. Okay. But here's the deal. There's 4 of them. One of them is a snake. Okay. One of them is lying about who they are or about, being the snake. So their job is to try to stop the other 3 from getting the clues. For each challenge, they get a clue about who the snake is. So they're trying to get to know each other as they go, right? And so they get a clue, and that clue tells them, a little bit about the snake. Well, and then they end up getting let's see, they get one at the beginning, I think, and then they get a chance for 3 other clues. And they have 2 challenges, they get a clue, and then they got the one at the camp at night, okay, that they can find a clue there. And then at the end, if the snake is able to fool them, the snake gets $100,000. If the other 3 vote on who the snake is and agree and vote who the snake is, then they get to split the $100,000. It's an interesting show. Hopefully I made sense enough of it.
Yeah, no, you did. I'll have to check it out because I've seen the advertisements for it.
It's really a cool show, man. It's really, they have some people that have been on like Survivor before.
Yeah.
Some that have been on Big Brother, Naked and Afraid, you know, some different shows like that. And some are just regular people they brought out just signing up for the show. And you're trying to figure it out as you go too, you know, like I'm trying to read their faces when they're talking to them and stuff like it's an interesting show. Anyway, the other thing I've been watching, Cobra Kai.
Now, did you start it when it was on Netflix, or do you go back to the YouTube Red days?
I started on Netflix.
Okay, yeah, I was a YouTube Redder.
Yeah.
Now I'm having. I mean, you talk about I'm having surgery on Thursday.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've got some time to lay around and recuperate. So I'm saving. So you're gonna have to tread lightly, kind of like what I did last week, talking about the photo shoot I walked up on. But yeah, but so tread lightly, avoid spoilers.
No, I won't say much about it. It's a good season. All of it's good. It's well written. You know how it is. I mean, they've done it.
And it's so good because like you always saw Johnny as the bad guy, but when you got like get to know the character and the person,
yeah,
kind of see what happened from his point of view, you're like, okay.
I'll just say this on this new season, I laughed out loud a couple times.
Good.
And it was Johnny, and it was just Rocky IV references. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh wait, no, I'm so
excited. I didn't run anything.
No,
I didn't do anything.
Excited.
But it's
Ralph Macchio and William Zabka. They're a match made in heaven.
Yeah. No, it's a good season. And
all these years later, and they're still like they cast the parts 30 plus years ago, and it's still perfectly cast today.
Yeah.
Stands the test of time.
Yeah. Well, Clint, that's it for us tonight, dude.
We made it. We did it.
We made it. We're done. The blue shirts are rocking.
Blue shirt day over.
Awkward pocket.
Take it off.
Blue shirt day is over. Take it off.
No,
don't do that.
Leave it on.
Yeah, leave it on. Leave it on. Stay fully clothed. We're not that kind of show. Anyway. Well, Clint, man, I hope things go well with your surgery.
I'm sure it will.
And hopefully you won't, you'll get in and moving into the new house. All that stuff's gonna happen soon, right? So
joke's on y'all. I'd rather have surgery than move myself. So it works
that's
out.
all you're doing, right? You're just having surgery so you don't have to lift boxes.
Bingo.
Clint's like, I am not carrying this bed one more time. That's it. I'm doing surgery. Come on, doc. No, man. Seriously, I know it's probably a pain having both of those happen at the same time, but your wife's tough. She can handle it.
There you go. Yeah, she's married to me and puts up with me. So
That's
woman's
right.
an angel.
That's right. Yeah, you got a stepson and get Austin there too, right? Bring him in.
Yeah, I get the 11-year-old. No, that's.
Well, I figured Tom Clark would get everything moved.
Oh no, Tom Clark. He like. We put new tires on the trailer this week to get ready. He's like,
oh, okay.
The thing I got going on is to help you move. And I'm like, okay, buddy.
DC, are you with me? All right. Well, man, have a great week, folks. Seriously. Please share, like, share. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We
Share.
need some more subscribers. Hit us up on social media. Let us know what you think.
Tweet at me.
Are we wrong? No, we're never wrong. But you can have a different opinion. That's okay. But seriously, thank y'all so much. Hometown Roofing.
Hometown Roofing, Bobby B.
Get your roofs from there. Fix it and start doing solar power, maybe. Yeah, man. Hope I didn't let a cat out of the bag there. Anyway, they're thinking about it. Anyway, and then Mike Floyd, as always, man, we appreciate you. Love you, bro. And,
Love you.
All our fans, all the folks that listen and watch on a regular basis, man, thank you so much for listening, for watching.
I miss you, Gabe. You never text me anymore.
Yeah, Gabe.
Yeah.
He misses you. He cries himself to sleep at night because
you still make your comments on the YouTube channel, but you never text me and say hi.
You folks, have a great week. Have a blessed one. Go Hogs. Beat them Bears. Beat them Bars.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard drive so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain, Lord.